Good morning. How are you today? Good, good. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome to Introduction to Psychology. So today we are going to keep talking about this chapter 4. We've been talking about consciousness. And at the end of today's lecture, I invited Dr. Mansell. So, she's going to demonstrate, relaxation activities. So it will be really fun class today. I'm so excited for those. Okay. So we kind of stop here, talking about all different kind of sleep abnormalities, right? Yeah. Sleepwalking, and you had those experience when you were young, but maybe not anymore, right? Yeah. So usually it happened like when you are young. Young means like elementary school, yeah. So yeah, it's gonna be gone soon, but some of them, if they are still like a high stressful situation and maybe genetic reason, they may have from time to time those sleepwalking behavior. So we talk about narcolepsy because it can be really dangerous because you are waking up and suddenly you went to sleeping mode, like a REM sleep mode. So imagine you are driving and maybe long driving, maybe 1 hour, yeah? And then in the middle of the driving, you may fall asleep, possibly, and it can be really dangerous, right? Yeah. And sleep terrors and sleep nightmares, we've been talking about those. And Daniel, you may have sometimes nightmares because you do remember, maybe fracture of those in a scene and those some memory, right? Yeah. So those are more like a nightmare. It will happen during REM sleep, which is rapid eye movement sleep. As an adult, we usually dream, but for young baby, newborn baby, those rapid eye movement period, they're making lots of neurons. So brain development will happen during those REM sleep. So if you are maybe suffer some sleep terrors, it will happen non-REM sleep. That means you wake up feeling not that great, a little maybe weird, but you do not remember anything because it was happened not the REM stage, more non-REM stage. Okay, so sleep apnea, underline, maybe you may have some maybe breathing issue, and maybe when you dream you snore, and sometimes we just like snore and they kind of stop breathing, maybe not briefly for a long time. It can be really dangerous for you. So basically, if you suffer sleep apnea, there's some treatment, continuous positive airway pressure. So right next to you, there's a little device. So kind of keep open your airway so you can kind of keep breathing during sleeping time. So one of the reasons can be there are more male population and also more obese. Obesity can be one of the reasons too. So you may talk to your doctor, and of course maybe other options, not only those device. Maybe you can kind of manage your maybe losing some weight more in a healthy way. So that's the sleep apnea, breathing interruption. So let's talk about what should we do have a good sleep. Because I'm so glad to hear from Daniel because he said he did really good night's sleep yesterday. So you feel great. Yeah. So what did you do to have a good night's sleep?
Went to bed a little earlier. Well, I mean, typically, like I said, I go to bed at 9 o'clock. But whenever I had that energy drink here on Tuesday, I had said I had got less sleep. Well, that was just because I was hanging out with some friends.
Okay.
So I just went to bed at 9, my normal time, but I didn't have lab this morning. So I slept in an extra hour. So it was like 9 hours total.
That's good. That's good. I'm so happy to hear that. So, one thing is routinized sleeping. I mean, try to go to the same time, like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. That's really matter because, once you feel really tired, oh, I'm so sleepy, I need to go to bed. And let's say you went to bed like 7. Maybe you may wake up 4 a.m. and kind of you mess your circadian rhythm, so it can be not good, having good night's sleep. And exercise. Daniel, do you exercise regularly, like once a day or maybe a couple of days?
It would probably be once a day, but you get like 2 days off in the middle of the week.
Okay, yeah, sure, yeah. So do you feel like exercise kind of help you because you may more exhausted and maybe fell asleep? Yeah.
I mean, and also if you're sitting around not doing anything, you can be tired too, just because you're bored. But yeah, no, if you do a lot of exercise or something, even right before you go to bed, you'll feel more relaxed when you go to
Yeah,
bed.
it's more good, better feeling than
Mhm.
doing nothing and just, feeling sleepy. Okay, and monitor food and drink near bedtime. I know you do not drink coffee, but sometimes you drink energy drink, right? Usually, do you drink in the morning or maybe afternoon?
Probably the morning.
In the morning, yeah, try to wake you up. Yeah. So, for me, I can drink coffee. I'm very caffeine sensitive and alcohol sensitive too. But if I drink coffee in the morning, it's okay. But afternoon, definitely, I cannot sleep until like 3 a.m. But I know several of my friends, they can drink coffee like 5 p.m., but no problem. They can go to, bed quickly.
If you're used to the caffeine, you definitely
Yeah, maybe that's the reason because I do drink coffee for like more with friends, and if they order coffee, I order coffee too. But I personally, order coffee for myself. I don't drink coffee much, so maybe that's why. So if you're really love, coffee, think about it. Maybe do not drink coffee maybe after 3 p.m. Yeah, people say after 3 p.m. that can be good, time you can think of it. So manage sleeping environment, temperature and light. I know sometimes you are very sensitive and even like a door knocking, those sound kind of hinder and bother your good sleep. Is there anything you try to make sure, like your bed, maybe near surrounding, maybe your environment?
I just, like I said, if I have a noisy fan, which I don't at the moment, but my previous house did have one, I would just keep the fan on low so I didn't have to listen to it. And then I have a golden retriever, and she loves chewing on her ball. So if she's chewing on that, I'll be like, Maple, be quiet.
Oh, okay. I love her name, Maple. Yeah. Okay, good. I know maybe there's people who are using, listen to music like calm music, and instead of, put on the light, maybe night kind of night, those, the light. And also temperature wise, what temperature do you usually keep on in your room?
My whole house is kept at like 73, but it definitely feels colder than that.
Okay, yeah. For me, like 73 is cold, very cold. Yeah. But I realized some of the students, it should be really, cold. If it is too warm, they cannot sleep. So it's really depending on individual difference. You may adjust those environment. So hopefully you can have a keep good night's sleep. Yeah. Okay. This can be. This is don't do that. We kind of cover those. Do not take caffeine afternoon, and do not take irregular nap. Smoke cigarette and drinking alcohol, and having like a heavy meal. And exercise close to the bedtime, so you kind of wake your body more and more alert and be concentrate. So don't do that. Maybe working out is good, but not near to the bedtime. And watch screen time near bedtime. We want to talk about that one. The last one, watch screen time near bedtime. Daniel, when you maybe before go to bed, do you watch your maybe checking Instagram and Facebook?
I'm always right before I go to bed. I'm on my phone.
Okay.
I'm either talking to my girlfriend or I am watching TikTok, which
Okay.
is always a doom scroll. You don't want to do that.
Yeah. So you just do it and then just leave it right next to you and then fall asleep?
Well, I have a nightstand and I keep it on my wireless charger up there.
Okay, good. Thank you. So I think this one can be really good topic for you for reflection paper topic because maybe it's easy to kind of relate to your daily life too. So if you don't mind, could you read for me?
Yep. What's your take? Part 2. Consider the number of brightly lit screens to which you expose your eyes and your suprachiasmatic nucleus every night. TVs, computers, tablets, smartphones, and perhaps even more. How much time do you spend on these screens? How close to bedtime? Do you look at any screens while you're in bed? How have you noticed your sleep being influenced by screen time near bedtime? Will you or do you allow your kids to use screens when their bedtime approaches?
Okay. So the question is pretty specific. I mean, you don't need to answer everything, but pretty much it will cover what you kind of introduce about your sleeping pattern and all things. So can you think about a little bit? Maybe I'm gonna give you a couple of seconds, and maybe I will ask you if you don't mind. If you don't want to answer, you don't need to, but it can be good exercise. Yeah. So I will give a couple of seconds. Yeah. Think about it. Yeah. I know students, you're watching my lecture. It can be good your reflection paper topic because we do all the time. Screen time right before bedtime, even including me. I try to stop doing at least like a 15 to 30 minutes. Before right before my going to bed, but still keep kind of checking my email. So it's not that good, right? So think about it seriously. And I think number one question can be challenging. How much time do you spend on these screens? Yeah. So I will ask you soon. Okay. Okay, kind of ready to share? Yeah. So, how much time do you spend on this screen time? Maybe per day.
I would say it definitely depends on the day. I've been trying to cut back on it, but if I wanted to, I'd be playing video games, or
Yeah.
watching a movie right before I go to bed, a couple hours, so 2 hours before bedtime. And then when I'm in bed, like I said, I'm looking at my phone, so
Okay.
even more.
So, how about like overall average of like per day?
Per
Just,
day,
yeah.
how much time do I look at my screens? Probably like 4 hours, maybe
Okay.
even more, depending on if you classify schoolwork.
Okay. Yeah. So I realized 4 to 5 is kind of average for
Mhm.
college students. They spend either maybe some game and watching TV, and also do homework, and because you need to
Yeah.
upload all the homework. So not much students kind of less than 3 hours, usually more than 3 hours, and 4 to 5 is kind of average, and some of them like 8 hours per day.
Depends on the
Yeah.
day, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So have you ever thought maybe I spend too much time on screen over, or
Oh, definitely. I mean, I
Yeah.
stopped playing video games nearly as much, mainly because of school. I use that as an excuse, but I've
Yeah.
been telling myself I need to get out and do more stuff outside anyway.
Okay. Yeah.
Takes up your time, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like brain rot to you.
Yes. Thank you. So, how close to bedtime? You said about 2 hours. You kind of do.
Like, I give myself probably about 30 to 45 minutes
Okay.
before I actually go to bed.
Okay.
Because I'll usually, take my dog out to go potty and then go brush my teeth and take a shower, and then I'll be ready for bed.
Okay.
If I'd like play video games or something right before I go to bed, or watch something really interesting, my mind will be thinking about that
Yeah.
before I go to bed. So
So try to not to those.
yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. So do you look at any screen while you are in bed? You try to not to at least.
I just do it on my phone a little bit but like I try not to just sit and look at my phone. I'm either like telling somebody good night and waiting on their response, and then I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
But used to, I would scroll on TikTok for an hour or so.
Okay, good. Thank you for your honesty. So here, have you noticed maybe your sleeping pattern can be changed depending on your screen time use, or maybe not really?
Yeah. I mean, it just depends on. For me, it's how quick I fall asleep. It's not how it affects my sleep. It's how quick I can fall asleep. Because if I'm thinking about this video game that I've been playing for the last, say, 3 hours, for some reason my brain's just moving too much to go to bed.
Yeah.
So I gotta like try and push that thought out of my brain and try and yeah, it's weird.
You may have like a lucid dream. Oh, this is like a phase 3, another battle during my sleeping
My
time,
mind
right?
just thinks way too much.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe last question. Maybe if it can happen like a father, but will you or do you allow your kids to use screens when they have some bad time?
No.
No?
Well, I mean, the way I was raised, I feel like taught me how to be, you know, and it helped me grow up to be healthy and stuff. They wouldn't allow me to, you know, I told you, they told me to go to bed at 10, you know, so I got 8 hours of sleep. And they also wouldn't let me, you know, watch stuff that was rated R.
Yeah,
You know, they were
yeah,
pretty
sure,
strict. So.
sure. Yeah, so your parents kind of monitor your screen time and
Oh
you know
yeah,
what
they
kind of
wouldn't let me
activities.
have a phone until I was a certain age. I think some kids get phones way too
I know,
young,
like the
and
first
that
grade.
really does affect their personality a lot because they're
Sure.
just instead of talking to people, they're over there on the phone watching something. Yeah, I think it definitely helps monitoring your kids' use of screens when they're growing up, just for their health alone.
Okay, okay. So, you know, you already answered very well to me. If you don't mind, maybe you can choose this one. I mean, if you want to, choose this one for your reflection paper topic, and then you can write. How many pages do you need to write?
I'd have to look at the thing, but
Two.
I read instructions.
Only 2 pages.
Two, okay.
It's a double space, so it's not that a lot. It's not single, double space. Yeah. So maybe 12 font. So yeah, I guess the size wise. Yeah. So I think it will be a good topic. You can kind of elaborate your daily routine for screen time. So thank you for sharing. So here, let's talk about dreams. I know if you're watching my lecture, you don't need to turn in this one. This is not an assignment, but there's like a dream journal on your Blackboard, so you can kind of check on that. I know Daniel usually have some light sleep and have some dream, but somehow he doesn't remember clearly. But if you don't mind, maybe from time to time you remember maybe some, you know, like a little bit of, you know, memory of a dream, yeah. So if you.
I feel like I even wrote a paper about it at one point. I said I wrote that, you know, who's to say you can't live a whole lifetime in a dream
Oh, okay.
and not remember it when you wake up. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
definitely I had a buddy, and this is a little different. He dreamed of something so much that he like believed it. Like he.
Okay.
But yeah, okay. So some of my dreams. Here's one that I mean, this is just a short one. It just shows how light of a sleeper I am at the same time.
Yeah.
So I was on deployment and I was sitting in my Bradley. My Bradley's like a mini tank. So I had been driving for a long time, so I get really tired, and I decide, okay, I'm gonna go to sleep. Everybody else is going to sleep. Well, I fall asleep and I dream because there's this hatch that's really heavy that lifts up that you can get in and out of your hellhole is what it's called. Well, I dream some soldier opened up the hellhole and was trying to grab me out of my hellhole and drag me out. So like in my dream, I start kicking at him, like kicking at his hands and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, that woke me up because I was kicking. I broke my brand new CVC, which is armored helmet that has like your radio communication, so you can communicate with your turret guy. Yeah, I had broke that. I snapped that in half, and my lieutenant was like, "That's why we can't have nice things, Landry."
No.
But yeah, just one of my dreams.
Yeah, so I know what you mean because during the sleeping, you know, I kind of maybe yelling at somebody else. Actually, I'm yelling.
Yep.
So that's the same
I
thing,
did that in
right?
basic. Yeah.
Yeah. And I do not dream much because I used to dream a lot when I was young, like elementary school. I have a very recurring dream. It's always the same. Even I can recognize, you know, Sarah, this is dream. You don't be scared. But I know it's a recurring dream, so I remember those dreams. So I'm in front of like a big kind of, you know, road, and there's like a big train coming to me, and I know I should move away because train is coming to me, but my body, I cannot control my body. I need to just stay there and then stay. The big train is coming to me, and just kind of I wake up. But it's kind of recurring dream, and I feel really scared as a young girl. So I don't want to dream anymore. I kind of prayed, you know, God, you know, no dream for me. So somehow maybe I kind of grown up later, and I do not dream much. Maybe I do dream, but I do not remember at all.
I think we dream almost every night and just don't remember it.
Yes, because we talk about those, you know, sleeping cycle. Yeah, so maybe stage 1 and 2 like a light sleep, and 3 and 4 deep sleep and REM sleep. Yeah, and then 1 and 2 and deep sleep and REM sleep. So we do dream, but we do not remember. But somehow, some of us, we do remember more clearly, especially like a nightmare, and kind of those, train, come to me and I kind of, so that moment, right? So let's think about maybe which theory makes sense to you, right? So dreams, folk theories, which is more like a not scientific big background, but people kind of used to think about dream. Nonsense theory, which means, dream is nonsense. It's a random thought. It just kind of come in and out. So we don't need to worry about any dream, right? And message theory is because, actually, when you dream, there's a person maybe come to you, like your grandma and your father and mother. Do not meet that person, something like that. Maybe apply for RSCU, maybe choose the business major. Maybe somebody will speak to you and try to give some message. Yeah, maybe possibly, yeah. Because some people say, I got calling through the dream, right? Maybe to do certain things, to do serve for the country. Yeah, so those are more message theory. And generative theory is dream sometimes, we feel like it's more like a predictable, like a feature predictable. But actually, while you are dreaming, you kind of generate and control. So part of can be like a lucid dream too, and you kind of kicking those, your, important device, and I know this is the dream, but I can avoid it. But maybe I can kind of change my mind, like this is still dream, you don't need to be scared. So generate kind of maybe more positive dream in that sense, right? And soul travel theory, basically your soul, during dream, you go outside and wandering. I think that's really cute. Like going outside and coming back to you.
I swear I had a dream one time where I was looking from the fan down to my body when I was asleep.
Oh.
Yeah, and my covers got drug off of me and landed on the ground. Yeah, that's one that I
I have like a goosebump feeling. So that can be. Yes,
lucid.
Not cute. Not cute. Maybe it's just
You said
scary.
not cute.
Not cute. It's scary. So travel theory, they kind of think about maybe our soul during the nighttime. They kind of go around and come back to us, right? And visitation theory is visit by supernatural spirit to us. Yeah, somebody will visit us. That's why we do see certain people. So we are here, but they are visiting to us. So, and Freud, we talk a little bit about Freud, about a psychoanalytic perspective. Freud really emphasized unconsciousness and importance of the early childhood, because he truly believed our personality will form during like 0 to 5 when we are very young. And he was a medical doctor, and older patients, they suffer more like not the physical, maybe physical some difficulties, more like psychological difficulties. They cannot sleep well because of certain like ideas and thought is coming to them recurrently, or they have some heart, maybe it's kind of burden for them, or maybe too much, it's going on. So Freud believed through dream, we can express fully our desire. So he believed unconsciousness level it should be unconscious, because if something kind of going to the conscious level, it can be problem. That's why we try to keep, as a human, Freud believed, we are kind of keeping like under those unconscious level. For example, let's say as a girl, you got abused from your dad when you are young and you become adult. Still, you can communicate with your daddy, but deep side your mind, like an unconscious level, you want to revenge on him. Yeah, because you got abused. So possibly, if it is like a story, but possibly, then through dream, maybe you can try to harm your dad, maybe try to beat your dad. Possibly you can be because she want to revenge on him, right? Because of all the experience. So through dream, you can express your unconsciousness. Yeah, and try to figure it out. So dream is really important, and he think dream as one of the relief solution, and also it can be we can kind of change, and we try to see unconscious level to the consciousness. What's wrong with that person? So if you're thinking about dream in that way, which theory you feel like more makes sense? I mean, there's not only one specific one, but overall, which one you feel like more makes sense to you?
Oh, I think a few of them. I mean, Freud's interpretation is a decent one.
You like that?
And like, I think it's kind of like when you're drunk. You don't really think too much about holding back on anything, and you just think about what
Yeah, kind
So that,
Yes.
and then message theory. I'm not gonna lie and say that I think people have received messages in their dreams,
Yeah.
but that's not always. It all depends. Sometimes a dream is like just so abstract and
Sure.
flip-flopping around between different things, you just don't know what it is.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, I feel like I agree with you. Some part, every kind of theory is kind of makes sense. Yeah, obviously it's nonsense. I'm not flying. Yeah, in terms of that, and Freud theory, unconsciousness, maybe deepest our heart. Maybe we are jealous of somebody else, and maybe do not like. But maybe at working, you need to be maybe social and try to be nice and kind to the person. But maybe deepest your mind, maybe you do not like that person much. Maybe through dream, maybe you are the boss and maybe she is the employee and you can do, yeah, it can be possibly, yes. So scientific theories, that means later on, scientists, they try to figure it out, what's really going on in our body when we dream. So one of the things is activation synthesis hypothesis. When you dream, we talk about the brain, right? The brain, the hind brain, there's like a pons, medulla and breathing and those parts. So when we dream, the pons is activating. That means we do not move our body, inhibit our movement. That's why we do maybe flying, but I guess flying doesn't affect us. We do not actually flying. Yeah, so that's pons and occipital lobe activating. That means occipital lobe on your hind, right here. So we do see color. When I know maybe it's really hard to remember dream, but Daniel, when you're thinking about your dream, it's not black and white. It does have a color, right? Yeah. So we do see, because that means we have occipital lobe is activating, so you can differentiate all different kind of color too. But basically, their theory is it's really random thought coming in and out. So we don't need too much worry about those. I guess that's the one, but later on, people think maybe dream is not that random. If you dream about exam, somehow you maybe pick up the wrong scantron and put your answers maybe wrong places, and then you feel like I got 0 point. That means you have an exam tomorrow. Yeah, I mean the introduction to psychology, we do have an exam tomorrow online, and you worry too much. And then through dream, you just kind of exercise and maybe do to like taking your own exam, right? So think about in terms of that. Maybe I will show before lucid dream here. So those are more like a later activation information mode model. So unlike activation synthesis hypothesis, which is dream is pretty random, maybe it doesn't make sense, but later on they kind of revised. Revised means maybe dream is not that random. Maybe you think over too much about one subject, yeah, and maybe you kind of worry about certain things. That's why we do dream and try to kind of remember that event, or maybe upcoming exam, or maybe some marriage, yeah. So yeah, that can be the thing. So what do you think about dream? Do you feel like a dream is random thought, is coming in and out? Or I guess it's something relation. Maybe you have some upcoming events, maybe exam, maybe grandparents, grandma died, that's why you do see grandma during the dream. So anything you feel like a dream is random thought, becoming completely random, or I think there's just something relating with our daily life. What is your opinion? Just curious.
I don't know. I think, like I said, it varies. A lot of it is mainly kind of what you're thinking about while you're going to sleep. And it gets interpreted into your dream.
Yeah.
But it also, like I said, I feel like some people have seen messages in their
Yes.
dreams, and that's a different thing. That's a different occurrence.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, I think majority of it is what you're thinking about when you go to bed. More than likely, will be in one of your dreams. Might not be the whole dream,
Sure.
but
Yeah.
just thoughts.
When you play some video game, maybe it can be like like a next session and you kind of keep playing, yeah? And maybe you lost in reality, but actually you're winning this time through dream. Yes. It can be
Yeah,
really cool
sure.
dream. Yes. Okay, let's talk a little bit about lucid dream. So basically, have you ever had a dream where you felt you could dictate what's the next? For me, my haunted dream, like a scary dream, my big train is kind of approaching to me. I know I want to avoid, but I can't, and I will wake up. So I can kind of predict the next scene of my dream. Yeah. So have you ever felt in that way? So you can maybe control your dream too. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely controlled the dream. I feel like before, but like I just don't remember them. Like I don't know. Like you remember them really, really well, and then like the longer you aren't thinking about it, the more pieces disappear.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know the feeling, right? I know this is dream. It shouldn't
Crazy
happen like
dreams.
this.
Yeah,
and
I've
maybe
had fun in dreams.
Yeah.
Got to do whatever
But
I want.
I guess maybe still we recognize, oh, this is dream. It shouldn't be the truth. And so thinking about that, maybe some combat soldiers, they have a nightmare all the time because of maybe their experiences. So in that sense, we can train them through those lucid dream instead of very horrible experience and maybe tragic situation, kind of making the story kind of change into more like a bright story. So it's not chasing by enemy, maybe chasing by maybe favorite dog or maybe his friends, maybe her friends. So try to think differently and changing the ending part of their dream and help them to feel better and then go back to bed more peacefully. So those are part of the lucid dream. And some of the maybe player, maybe as a maybe tennis player, somehow you make always some mistakes, some serving. Yeah, so through dream, maybe if they try to practice, the serving successfully, if they kind of control their dream, in that sense, we can train in that way. So dream is not a useless thing; it can be useful thing, naturally happening to us. Okay, very good. Let's talk about hypnosis. It's a really interesting topic, and Daniel and I agreed on that. We don't want to get hypnotized. That's too much, right? But I know some of you may want to experience hypnotized, because people say it's really good and peaceful and you don't need to worry about anything. And when you wake up, you do not remember. You dance and you say silly things, but you do not remember. So hypnosis, definitely it's an altered state of consciousness. One person, participant, us, and become suggestible to another person, hypnotist. Maybe he or she try to command us, maybe sit down, maybe raise up your hands, and maybe say certain maybe song, and maybe we will follow. But after termination, just kind of come back to the our normal states, right? So induction and suggestion and termination. So let's try to do, can you close your eyes? And we will kind of practice a little bit. So close your eyes and breathe in with your nose and breathe out with your mouth. Naturally breathe in and breathe out. Very good. And concentrate on, in front of you, there is one tiny white dot. So concentrate on those one dot. And this time, relax your body. Keep breathing in and out. And relax your toes. And breathe in and out. Keep breathing and relax your legs and keep concentrate on those white dots and breathe out and breathe in and relaxing your torso and breathe out. And breathe in and out. Relax your arms. Very good. And breathe in and relax your head and breathe out. And relax your whole body and concentrate on that white dot. And breathe in and out. And that white dot come closer to you and closer to you. And you may open your eyes. Very good, very good. So those are more like induction. Try to relax your whole body. And hypnotists will give you some direction. Maybe counting numbers and you are into a suggestion. But good thing is I'm not certified hypnotist. So maybe you will not fall into the suggestion part. But usually when you listen to, and also you should be suggestible, which means maybe Daniel and I, we are not good qualification because people want to be hypnotized. It's easily get hypnotized. Because if you don't want to and kind of resist, probably it's really hard to those people kind of get hypnotized. But when you are in session, you will maybe dance and sing together and maybe shout together. So it will happen, and after termination, you can kind of go back to your normal state. So why do we care? Because it does influence like a pain control. So stop, maybe not smoking, and pain can be reduced. So used to use and still used. If somebody suffer chronological some pain, hypnosis can be one of the options. So while you got hypnotized, at least you feel really comfortable and very peace. So instead of taking medicine, maybe you are using this alternative way and then feeling those are alternative state of our consciousness, right? Okay, so we need to have open-minded and more like absorption, which is maybe it will not happen to somebody who don't want to get hypnotized. And I think this is interesting. So Daniel, maybe I want to ask you, since we do not get hypnotized, both of us, do you believe hypnosis is kind of real, or maybe possibly it's not that real? Maybe it can be fake. Just wondering.
Yeah, I mean, I think it could be real. I mean, it depends on what extremity, but like I think hypnosis is real just because I do believe if your brain thinks it's real, it's real.
Okay, good. So we do, I mean, there are lots of researches done. Somebody is hypnotized. And inside, they try to see, looking at their inside the brain, which area is activating. And somebody is trying to pretend to be hypnotized. And try to looking at the inside of their brain, and they realize a different area of our brain is activating. So that means if you are in that zone of hypnotized, probably you are in that, alternative state, not the real, conscious level of brain function. So, for example, a hypnotist try to hypnotize you. You are maybe on the tree. Maybe like that on the tree, and then maybe that person got hypnotized and feeling like that person is on the tree versus you pretend you are thinking of pretend you are on the tree. Yeah, so they try to see, like compare inside their brain activity, but different area of brain was activating. So we can say actually hypnosis can be real. Yeah, maybe some of them do not believe, but it's real scientifically because it can help you stop smoking and stop having those pain. So it's interesting concept since we are talking about alternative way of thought. So here are psychoactive drugs and consciousness. So Daniel, you can help me this chapter. So it's about all the possible drugs like a caffeine and maybe some opioid related, some painkillers and marijuana and all things we are going to talk about here. And drinking, drinking can be one of the things. So substance that alter mental functioning. So Daniel, do you like drinking?
Not really. I do drink here and there, but I usually just drink to get a little buzz going because, like I said, I get headaches too often,
Okay.
so I don't get like drunk to where I get a headache the next day.
Okay, good. Yeah, so do you really enjoy those buzzing feeling, like a relax
Yeah, it
and
feels good. I mean,
yeah.
I used to drink a lot more when I was in the army, but I no longer do that.
Okay, good. Yeah, I mean, people say we are drinking because I love those buzzing feeling, not necessarily really drunken. Yeah, which is really good because more relaxed and you can have, more smooth conversation. Maybe somebody else you do not know actually, in there maybe some party session. Yeah, but definitely it works. Yeah, but for me, maybe I need to say, I have a very caffeine sensitive and alcohol sensitive. Maybe it can be a little genetic thing. So if I drink like maybe this much of alcohol beverage, any beverage, maybe I feel really hot and my whole face maybe turn red and yeah. So I don't want to drink and I do not feel those like a buzzing feeling because one time I tried to drink more than usual because I really want to feel those relaxation, those buzzing feeling, but it didn't work to me. I feel really hot, feeling like I got some flu because my temperature was pretty high. So anyway, it doesn't work to me. But usually those in alcohol, yeah, those are depressant. But we will talk about those three options of psychoactive drugs. So here we need to understand if you kind of keep using drinking coffee, keep maybe drinking alcohol beverage, yeah, and maybe keep having certain painkiller and those opinionated those drugs, tolerance and withdrawal symptom. We need to thinking about those two. What's the tolerance? Yeah.
How much you can take, like how much you're able to take without actually having any negative consequences.
Yes. Very good. So let's just say maybe a small cup of coffee was working for you, maybe in the morning, but somehow you're drinking coffee for 5 years, even not 5, like maybe 1 or 2 years later on, you feel like in order to get concentrate on better, maybe you need to take one more coffee afternoon because you need to keep increasing those dosage of the same amount, same influence of you will get, the concentration. It's the same thing like some pain medicine too. Maybe you're taking one pill, kind of reduce your pain, but it will not work in that way forever. Maybe you need to increase the dosage, maybe 2 pills instead of 1 to feel the same amount of comfortableness. So it can be really challenging if you're really depending on medication to reduce your pain. But sometimes I know chronological pain can be really challenging for the people who are taking painkiller. But think about that. Those are tolerance. Withdrawal symptom, since we do not drink coffee and maybe not too much drinking, so probably it's really hard to explain, but I know many students, they really like drink coffee in the morning. And I ask them and challenging them, can you try to not drink coffee for 5 days, like Monday through Friday for us? So can you tell us what's the symptom of your body? Yeah, and a couple of them they tried because they always try to kind of not having coffee too much because they used to drink coffee so long time and really depending on the caffeine. So without coffee drinking, they cannot function. So they kind of having those challenging and accept it, and they try to do it, and they give us information was no concentration and Headache was really big one. Headache, no concentration, and uncomfortableness, like a fidgeting kind of those feeling too. So all the things, those are withdrawal symptom. I know you do drink not coffee, but energy drink sometimes in the morning. I do not think you are addicted. You just kind of depending on your situation. You just can drink and maybe feeling more concentrate, maybe working better, right? Yeah. So imagine you really need to having those energy drink every morning to get function, right? And one day you stop it and try to see your physical, your body reaction. Those are more like a withdrawal syndrome, not pleasant, usually not pleasant, because maybe you may have some headache and maybe losing some appetite and cannot concentrate, and so maybe more kind of negative thing. Those are withdrawal symptoms. So physical dependence, physically you cannot do your work, right? And psychological dependence, you really want to have coffee. And keep thinking about having coffee as your good thing and your real thing, and you cannot do any of your daily life possibly. So those are physical and psychological dependence. So let's talk about drug addiction. It can be really challenging. Alcohol. I know we do not drink, luckily, our participant, with me, we do not drink much. But I guess, drinking alcohol is really common thing. And, people understand and try having those buzzing feeling. People maybe prefer to have a drink when you meet somebody else, right? But when you're having those certain amount of alcohol every day, and whenever you get stressed out, it can become routine. And when you become addicted, it can be really, really challenging. Maybe people say, stop drinking. But they cannot stop drinking because that's really a serious problem. Yeah. And you really need to ending up. And the problem is, if you kind of keep drinking, maybe at the beginning stages, you feel good and buzzing feeling, but kind of keep drinking make you do not remember anything. And do certain things, but in the morning you are some, places not your home, maybe somebody else's house, or maybe at the bar. Yeah, so it can be really challenging. If you suffer any like a drug addiction, even like including alcohol, you need to see a doctor. You need to do like a treatment, and it's really serious. It's not we are talking about willpower. And just to do it, no, it's not just to do it. You really need to get therapy and maybe some training, and also maybe try to get some, maybe sometimes hospitalized too, to get fully recover those. So depressant underline, alcohol underline, it will be on your exam. So alcohol, people think that's the stimulant. Because the stimulant is, when you are maybe in Korean culture, I'm originally from South Korea, when you are happy, people will drink. Yeah. So in United States, we say cheers, right? When you have those, like those moments. In Korea, the Korean word is 짠. So we can 짠 and having those alcohol beverages. When you're happy, people drink. And when you are sad, we are upset, and when you are sad, people drink. People drink too in Korea. So basically, people drink a lot of alcohol. And also the college students too. Yeah, college, they do drink alcohol. So alcohol, it can be used like a good way at the beginning stages, but definitely if you kind of keep drinking, that makes you slow down. It's not stimulant. So stimulant is kind of stimulate, increase our brain activity. But alcohol is decrease our brain activity. So definitely those are depressant. I want to ask you, Daniel, have you had maybe drunken and maybe drink too much and you do not remember, or maybe not there? Oh yeah, several times, yeah.
Just once, really. Okay. I got in Article 15 and demoted, and that was because I was 19 and I got like way too drunk. Okay. And I kind of blacked out. I just left my friend's house and walked home.
Oh, but you could still walk home?
Yeah, well, I walked because I didn't want anyone to drive me. We were all drunk. But I was on the military base, so I only lived a quarter mile down the road.
I see.
Well, somehow I got in a fight with two other dudes on my way back home. So
okay, wow.
I don't remember any of it, but
okay, wow. So maybe after that you decided maybe
that's when I pretty much stopped.
You stopped, yeah. So I'm glad you stopped there. Yeah. Yes. So alcohol can be used for the good uses, like having fun and maybe having better conversation, but it's a certain, the standard. You shouldn't maybe excess that, right? Because you do not remember, and you do may have some, all different kind of unwanted sexual behavior, and with somebody else, and maybe making some big mistake, yeah. And sometimes it can be really not curable, right? Yeah. So thinking about that, and organ damage. If you kind of keep drinking in certain stage, your organ doesn't work. Your liver, yeah. And so thinking about seriously about too much drinking, it can be relating with your death, right? Okay, so let's talk about stimulant. Stimulant, cocaine and amphetamines and meth and nicotine. I know all of those we are not doing it, but sometimes maybe we do. Like as a college student, you may some smoking. Have you ever like having some smoking? Yeah.
Smoke? Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
smoke.
Well,
Yeah.
that was mainly. I never really smoked cigarettes,
Uh-huh.
but I smoked cigarettes when I was deployed and in the field.
Uh-huh.
That was the only times I would smoke cigarettes.
Ah,
But
yeah.
besides that, I used to dip a long time ago. Don't do that anymore. But now I just hit a vape nicotine.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I heard in the army there's a certain time for even smoking. Is it true or kind of little relax
You
and
get smoke breaks. I mean, you're allowed to. They're not like that insanely strict.
uh-huh.
But yeah, everybody's either drinking alcohol, drinking caffeine, or smoking
Smoking.
cigarettes.
Okay,
That's
okay.
the army.
Yes, yes. So smoking, it can be harmful and it's really addicted. Smoking, once you begin to, it's really hard to stop it because those, relaxation feeling, yeah, and maybe stressed out, maybe you feel like really like those, enjoy those moments. So have you ever heard about like a third-hand smoke? But have you ever heard of like a second-hand smoke? Yeah. So what is second-hand smoke?
Say, so my hot boxes a room, whether it's cigarette smoke or weed, somebody else gets it, a secondhand smoke.
Yes, yes. So maybe I'm not smoking, but Daniel is smoking. If I kind of in the same room, I have exactly same influence, right? So thinking about as a maybe pregnant woman, you feel like I do not smoke, I never smoked, but if you work in the environment, your co-workers are all smokers, actually you got influenced and your baby can influence negatively too, right? Those are second-hand smoke. But third-hand smoke is maybe extension of that. Let's just say heavy smoker used to live in certain maybe house, and you need to that house, so you bought the house, even though like maybe that people already evacuate maybe 6 months ago, but still those residue of those smoking, it can be still there. Yeah. So maybe somebody else jacket, heavy smoker's jacket, even though that smoking person is not there, if you wear those, because still inside those jacket, those residue of those nicotine can influence negatively. So it can be really important thinking if you really avoid like smoking and those nicotine, thinking about even third-hand smoke. Yeah, so do not buy or maybe rent heavy smokers in a room, house, or maybe some clothing. Yeah, so that's the one. Okay, caffeine. Since Daniel and I, we do not drink caffeine much, it will not be not that fun activities, but if you're watching us, think about it. If you're taking some coffee and tea, maybe energy drink, this is like a maybe good exercise we can kind of think about together. So caffeine consumption recommendation is 400 milligrams less per day. For the pregnant woman, yeah, because some pregnant women, they really want to have coffee and chocolate and tea, maybe reduce half of the amount, like a 200 milligram, maybe more later stage of pregnancy. So here, let's calculate. And maybe we can kind of make some ideal plan for college students, since Daniel and we do not drink coffee or maybe energy drink not that much. But have you ever tried a 5-hour energy shot? So I really want to say don't drink that one, because even though it's a tiny, how about the taste? Is it taste good?
It didn't taste terrible. I mean, it was a lot better than drinking a Bang. Bangs are gross.
Oh, Bang is gross.
They're about 250 milligrams.
Okay, yeah. So here, it's a very tiny, but it has 200 milligrams of caffeine.
My heart's dealt with lots of caffeine. I think
Kind of, keep, yes, I do too. So if I drink coffee, sometimes I have my heartbeat goes very fast, because I do not drink coffee much. So thinking about, it's already 200. Because let's limit 400 milligram of caffeine. Let's kind of plan for those. So those are like half of the caffeine right there. I know sometimes you drink Red Bull and Monster. Yeah, those are 70 to 80 milligram of. Yeah. So what do you? I mean, have you checked those?
That's an 8 ounce. That's the smallest.
Oh
Red
yeah,
Bull.
maybe Red Bull,
The
small one.
16 ounce is usually probably what most people drink.
Double.
And it's like 150 milligrams.
Sure. Yeah. So this is like an example, and maybe the size, you need to consider those too. So energy drink, I think I saw it like a convenience store, very tiny, but I didn't know it's a 200 milligram of caffeine. And so Monster, like a regular size, it will be like 150. Yeah. So I know some of you, you drink pop every day, like a Coke. Maybe Mountain Dew. Yeah, it does have a caffeine too, not only sugar. So here, 12 ounces, Mountain Dew and Pepsi. So I didn't know Mountain Dew has more caffeine than Coke. Yeah, Mountain Dew is bad.
Yeah, like it's the worst pop if you look at the ingredients. It's got all of the bad ingredients and more than most of the others.
Compared to like Coke and like
all of them.
all of
It's literally ranked as the worst one.
Oh, okay, yeah. But I like the taste, and also I like the name, Mountain Dew. But it's the worst, so maybe we should try to not to drink that one. But it's more caffeine, maybe around 50, comparing to like 25 to up to 30 other pops. So thinking about that, if you really like Mountain Dew every day, I know some of you really like to drink, so think about that. And energy drink, there's like a light kind of caffeinated energy drink. I forgot the name. What is that? Usually, yes. That's much less, but still it does have a caffeine too. Have you ever tried those Celsius too? Yeah.
I have. Like I said, I've drank so much caffeine that really, I don't know. I don't think energy drinks ever affected me. I think I could drink a Monster and go to sleep.
Oh, okay.
Like, I don't know. I've built up a tolerance or something.
Okay. So I bet you try to having some energy drink, at least like one drink per day recently?
Well, I've done quit that for a while. But the Army, I was drinking energy drinks, 2 or 3 energy drinks a day.
That's obviously maybe over 400 milligram per day.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So if it is possible, I know if you are in Army, that's a totally different situation. But as a maybe college student, try to cut your caffeine consumption less than 400. It may be kind of challenging you. So
I took it as a challenge.
yeah, challenging. Okay, good. Okay, so opiates, pain relieving drugs. I know maybe some of you do need to deal with the chronological pain, and you really need to have a painkiller every day. It can be really challenging, but basically those morphine and codeine and all the relating with pain relating those painkiller, we should avoid because it's highly addictive. Yeah, and the sad thing is I realized those opinionated drug relating those addiction, it happened because of normal regular prescription. Because when you see doctor, I have a severe back pain, I have a chronological, severe pain, can you prescribe any medicine? Maybe starting from very low dosage of morphine, and they need to, because withdrawal symptom, you need to keep increasing the dosage, and maybe even like in family, your sister having some, maybe opinionated some painkiller medicine, and one day you got some severe back pain after maybe sports, involvement, and I know, maybe maybe your sister has some medicine, can I get some? So maybe begin with that without any doctors prescription and maybe conversation. We kind of having somebody else painkiller and addicted. So opinionated dose painkiller addiction rate is pretty high.
We didn't even need that. We had the doctors handing it to us. You remember the opiate crisis? Yeah, I watched that series. There was a series about it, and
Yeah,
it got
yeah.
really bad. The epidemic of the opioids.
Okay, yes. So, it's really yeah. So it's kind of over 50 like a 60, kind of almost like a 60 population. They begin to have addicted behavior because of those prescribed medicine and maybe wrong medicine and maybe wrong dosage of the medicine. So we shouldn't try any of those those opinionated medicines because it's highly addicted. But thank you so much. So right now we have Dr. Mansell. She's gonna talk about relaxation activity, and I'm so honored to have her today. So I will maybe stop here. We just covered pretty much every this chapter. We have only one this hallucination, so we will talk more maybe next week. Yeah. So I will talk about changing. Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Mansell.
Sure.
Yeah, if you don't mind, could you introduce yourself?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm Dr. Sonia Mansell. I'm an associate professor in the Department of Psychology and Sociology here at Rogers State University, and I'm really excited to be with you today at this time. I think my stats students are probably excited as well. I let class out early. I'm going to be talking about mind-body connection. This is a topic that's near and dear to my heart. My first career was actually as a dancer. And even though I'm very far removed from doing that now, I still believe in the benefit of movement and how movement can help us think better and also just help us feel better. So anything else you'd like to know before I get started?
So we've been talking about consciousness and altered state of consciousness.
Okay.
And we're interesting about mindfulness. So I guess that's your
great.
expertise and topic today.
Yeah, so I'm ready to talk about mindfulness.
Okay.
Okay. So the mind affects the body. Our thoughts and mental states, such as level of happiness, contentment, affect how our body feels and functions. So I want you to think about a time when you were feeling really great about things. What are some ways of describing how that felt in your body?
Got butterflies in my stomach. Kinda,
Okay, yes.
I don't know, my legs felt a little jello-y. I don't know. There's been some times where, you feel that.
Yeah, exactly. So you're able to feel that sensation as joy, or maybe with the butterflies, sometimes we might feel that if we're excited, but we're a little apprehensive perhaps. Okay, all right. Great example. The body also affects the mind. So how our body feels and how well it's functioning affects our state of mind. If you've ever been hurt, had maybe a broken bone or a really bad headache, how does that, or what impact might that have on your thinking?
Just motivation overall goes down. You don't really feel like up to par to do anything. You just want to kind of relax and let your mind not think too much.
Sure, and sometimes we're at a point where we can relax, but unfortunately sometimes we're not. We may be in class, we may be taking an exam, we're having this really bad headache, or I have an ongoing pain in my right hip. And what happens is that when we are in that position where we're feeling pain, we're feeling discomfort, our mind, that discomfort is taking up space in our mind. All right, we're thinking about it. It is diverting us from the task at hand. So our prefrontal cortex ability a lot of times will suffer, and I'm not saying a lot, but a little bit as a result of that. And over time, that's one of the many reasons why chronic pain takes such a toll on a person's life, because it affects cognition, affects how you feel about your body and your motivation. All right, so we're going to do a grounding activity, and you may be familiar with this. It's been around for a while, and a lot of times therapists will suggest this activity to their clients when they are feeling a little bit overwhelmed. So as people, we all have our optimal level of arousal, and some of us are keyed a little bit higher, so we can take more of the loud sounds, we can be around large groups of people, and that feels okay. Others of us are much more sensitive to those types of things. So based on your arousal, let's say that you're in a new situation. You are interviewing for a job, and you're having to travel and meet with the person who's going to be interviewing you. Well, you've never been to this place before. Maybe you haven't been to this city. You don't know if you're gonna, even though MapQuest or Google Maps says you are going to arrive at this time, at this place, there might be apprehension whether you're arriving at the right place, and then the building, and then finding the room number, and then having to talk to this person that you've never met before. All of that, I'm just thinking about it and I'm getting anxiety in my chest. So all of that can lead us to be really anxious and perhaps feeling overwhelmed and a little bit out of control. So with the grounding activity, what the suggestion is to get back into yourself, if that makes sense. So I'm not going to have you do this now, but the idea is if you have time before that interview, if you can get in the space, take a moment to sit down, feel your bottom on the seat, feel your feet firmly planted, and recognize that you are here in this new space and it's going to be okay. You first want to pinpoint 5 things you can see. So you're going to get in the space, you're going to start to gain clarity of what the space looks like. What are 5 things I can see? And that process of focusing your mind on this activity is going to help just in and of itself remove the anxiety. All right. Once you do that, we're going to go to the auditory. 4 things you can hear. In this classroom, there's a little bit of a fan going. You hear my voice. Anything else you can hear in here if you really hone in on things?
I can hear the HVAC system.
Yes,
Very lightly. But no, there's not a whole lot. Sometimes I can hear the people in the other classroom through the wall.
Yeah. 3 things you can feel. So of course, body in the chair, feet on the floor, that's something that you can feel. The texture of the chair itself, if you touch your clothing, what the texture of your clothing is. 2 things you can smell. This could be a good thing or a bad thing, right? Our olfactory sense is we're very well attuned when it comes to things we can smell, and then 1 thing that you can taste. And in doing that, I've practiced this activity because I tend toward anxiety, left to my own devices in the way that that I'm sort of set up as a human being. This is so helpful to me if I'm feeling nervous, like about talking on RSU TV or something of that nature. I can do that and then feel much more ready to go. Okay, there are lots of different activities to center and calm the mind and body. If you're interested in learning more about this, I would suggest that you look at somatic practices, and there are hundreds and hundreds of things you can do to get to this point of calm in the mind and body. So a body scan enhances our ability to bring full attention to real-time experiences happening in the present moment. Again, that's helpful when emotions or thoughts feel overwhelming, or when you feel out of touch with your body. You feel like you're just a brain that's walking around, like there's this thing propelling your brain forward. So with the body scan, that's again a check-in that you can do throughout the day, or sometimes I like to do it at night as a method of relaxing and trying to get to sleep. So you would do, 1 way to do this is to start at your toes and sense how they feel, and then slowly work your way up and out of the entire body. You may not have that amount of perception in terms of body awareness, and that's fine. Something else that you can do is to tense the different areas and then feel what the tension and the release feels like. That's another really good way to go. Breathing activities, we have the 4-7-8 breathing. Breathing in for 4, holding for 7, and exhaling for 8. And have you talked at all about the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system? Okay, what can you tell me about the parasympathetic?
Throw me
Or
on the
Dr.
spot.
Boone can impart some wisdom, right?
Yeah, so sympathetic nervous system is when you are in some danger, maybe some life crisis sort of situation, maybe car kind of approach to you. We may kind of hold tightly our breathing and kind of nervous and ready for the fight and flight situation. But parasympathetic is, maybe it's not to me, so maybe not that anymore, those dangers. So this is time to relax and take a break and rest. So we usually kind of breathe out our breath. Right?
Yes. And so if you need, sometimes we need to activate that sympathetic nervous system. There's yogic breathing, like the fire breathing, where you're going, which is actually making your exhalation shorter than your inhalation. That's going to, if you do that for a while, you're going to feel more energized. You might also feel really out of breath, but your body's going to build up some energy and heat. Okay. Something like the 4-7-8 breathing is good because we're taking more time on the exhale than the inhale, and that activates your parasympathetic. So I'd like for you to close your eyes for a moment, and we're going to inhale for 4, 3, 4, hold 1, 2. Exhale. And so you would repeat that activity several times. That's one, again, of many different breathing techniques you can do to activate your parasympathetic nervous system. Other techniques include triangle breathing. So if you're someone whose mind wanders a lot, I know mine does, you can close your eyes and do that same breathing pattern, but think about tracing a triangle, an upside down triangle. So on the inhale, you could inhale and think about tracing your triangle up the right side. Inhale for 4. And then as you're thinking about the upside down triangle going across, you would hold your breath. And then you would exhale as you finish making that triangle. And so having that double focus of the visual mixed with the breathing is sometimes helpful. Box breathing is another one when you think about your breathing, but you're following what a box looks like. Okay. All right, so some yoga and stretches that you might do. We're going to go through these relatively quickly. I'm dressed at a dress, so you can do these using, in any sort of state that you're in. Maybe not stilettos or hiking boots. No, you could definitely do it in hiking boots. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our right hand to our left ear. And you're going to inhale, and then you're going to gently stretch to one side. And you can think about rolling back that opposite shoulder, inhale, and you want to move on your exhale. So we'll stay here. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then we can release. And then let the head float up. And it sometimes feels a little weird, but you're going to feel more space on that side of the body. And then we'll go to the other side. And let go and let the head float up, and then interlace your hands. Gently take the hands to the nape of the neck, chin toward the sternum, and then you can alternate moving your nose. Sun salutation, so you can do this sitting or standing. This is the inhalation here. And the exhalation. And we can build on the sun salutation and do a vinyasa flow. If we had more time and we were in a yoga class, we could do that. But the idea is you're following your movement and your breath. So they're tracking together. Inhale. And exhale. These are great stretches to do if you're at a desk. So you can take your right hand to the opposite side and stretch around. For little ones, we call this the owl stretch sometimes, and then come back to center. And then you can go on the other side. And those twists are great for our lower back. Last thing we're going to do, I'm actually going to have Dr. Moon demonstrate. She loves this pose. This is the tree pose, and it is a grounding pose that we use in yoga. It also works the balance. So if you want to stand up and try it, Dr. Moon, can you demonstrate tree pose for us? So you can take your foot up anywhere. And the idea is that you're great, Dr. Moon, is that you are pushing this foot into the floor and pushing this foot into the leg and vice versa. And Dr. Moon's kind of a professional with this, so don't think that you have to stick your leg up that high. You can put your leg down by your ankle and get a lot of benefit from it. So it looks like we're out of time. That went really quickly.